It's that time again, week 16 in the NFL. This year has flown by and money has flown out of my pockets. But here we are, Greenlight Gambling Show, powered by Bet America, who will provide us with all the lines. Make sure you go to betamerica.com, download the Bet America app, and you can check out my game picks for what it's worth. And then you can check out my long shots. Lots going on at betamerica.com, and I am thrilled to be involved with them. I know Stanford Steve is as well. Steve, you look safe.
Thanks, buddy. I'm just missing the Howie bullhorn right here, baby.
Howie bullhorn. Yes, it was different back in the day. What kind of face mask did you have at Stanford?
Dickerson.
Oh, the Dickerson. Okay, good.
Oh.
Safety first. Safety first. And by the way, that is the Digit camo.
Sure, that sounds good. That's what we have. We got a couple other over here. So
well, last week,
work. You know, Chris,
yeah,
we don't have a couch at work.
I know. Well, these are like lounge chairs to be specific.
Macon, good to see Macon punched in again tonight.
Yeah, Macon, he's taking a lot of days off. So, hey, we were both wrong on Army last week. I thought for a little bit there we were going to get you were going to get the cover and I was going to get the over, but 0 for 2 for us.
Yep. Story of our lives, buddy. How'd you do on your other pick?
On my other picks, Cowboy Reed, did I do all right? I did. He did a thumbs down.
I think you went 0 for, buddy.
Did I go 0 for?
Yeah.
In college or in pros?
There was no college.
Oh, you know what? I did. I went 0 for the weekend, but I went 7-7 in my Bet America picks in the NFL. So it's saving grace there. Okay, I sucked. I really sucked.
How does it feel?
It feels humbling to suck. I needed that.
All right.
I needed that. Even betting against you every week, I needed a little bit more humbling. Let's start with the NFL slate this weekend, which, by the way, it is awesome when you have NFL on Saturdays. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't know why we couldn't have it last week.
Yeah, no? I don't know, man. Better late than never. So, you want to get yours off first because you won last week.
I sure did. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna go 3 in a row, pretty quick here. I'm gonna go.
Colts. Let's rotate. So I don't want to I don't want to copy your picks here.
No problem.
Okay.
Colts -7. Panthers announced Will Grier is going to start. I just think the Colts have a really bad taste in their mouth. I know they're out of the playoffs, but I trust Reich as a coach. Leonard was really pissed off after the game Monday night with his quotes. He made the Pro Bowl. So I think that defense is going to give Will Grier fits in his first NFL start. Grier, I love the kid in college, but it's more of a spread thing. You know how those spread quarterbacks look early on in their careers in the NFL. Give me the Colts at home. I think that defense is good enough.
I like that. And I also like the fact that you still have the helmet on. I looked up and realized it. My most confident pick is the Bills getting the points in Foxborough. I know this would be like sacrilege in a typical December, but I really like the Bills to keep it close. Yeah, slide that big helmet off, big boy. There was too much air in that helmet. They are 7-0-1 against the spread in their last 8 on the road. They're a team that has kept damn near every game close this year, save for the Eagles, ironically, who went up to Buffalo and just beat them up. But last week, they found a way to win in an ugly game. I think it's going to be another ugly one. The over-under's a little low for me. I like the Bills. It's a different team than you saw play the Patriots in Buffalo the first time around. And keep in mind, the Pats needed a block punt for a touchdown. So different teams, 2 different teams trending in different directions. Josh Allen has been taking care of the football. And also, Tom was shaking out his arm a bunch in pregame. I don't know how healthy he is. Jules only 9 yards last week. They're going to need more than that. I think the Bills keep it close and might win.
All right. I like that. I'm judging this game fully on the 2019 season because if the Patriots have to go on the road in the divisional round, to me, it's the greatest NFL season ever.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
So sick and then play at home in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
Tired.
We're going to see something totally different. And I think there's a good chance they do go on the road twice if they're lucky enough to get the first one under their belt. So who's your second most confident pick?
I'm going to go with Road Goff again for the second week in a row. Road Goff scares some people, but Road Goff, a divisional game. I feel like the Niners are this team that obviously peaked, but then they're gonna. I think they're still gonna get that bye. I think they're gonna go to Seattle. I think they win this game, but I think the Rams have enough to keep it close. 6.5 in a division game with the talent the Rams have. They still have stuff to play for. Ambush City last week in Dallas, but I think the Rams have the wherewithal to be able to do that and cover the 6.5.
Here's what I worry about there. If you look at Jared Goff and you look at the games that he plays well, everything's predicated on him throwing in tight coverage or not. And last week, what you did see was he threw a season-high amount of balls into tight coverage. I think it was 20% of his throws, which was way up from 11, which we've been shitting on Sean McVay a lot for not being innovative enough. I think he's been kind of the glue now that I'm looking at it. They have thrown into tight coverage a league low of like 10% on the year. I think San Francisco's coverage is going to be pretty good. That's a stay away for me, but I could see it. I think last week was a bit of an anomaly. Dallas just came to play, and Goff, I'm worried about the injury and that sort of thing. My second most confident pick is the Finns at home. I like Fitzmagic. Huh?
I looked at this one.
Did you look at this one?
Yeah.
The Dolphins are 7-1 straight up the last 8 games at home. And they're 7-3 against the spread the last 10. So I like the under is usually what hits in this game if you look at it. But I like the Dolphins giving a point or two here, depending on what it lands at. I think the Bengals are going to be beat up. They played New England. They dumped a really good half of football, and they were running the ball well on the perimeter. But they didn't come out with a win. Andy Dalton didn't take care of the football. After you play a team like the Pats sometime late in the season, you can drag. And then you go down to the Heat and play these guys that got nothing to lose. And don't tell the Dolphins that they should be tanking because they are doing the opposite. And I think the Bengals are on the Burrow Express. I think the Dolphins win and might win big, even with a fourth-string running back in Patrick. I think his name is Patrick Laird. Is that correct? White running back is going to start this game, and the Dolphins are going to win.
I actually looked at the over in this game.
Yeah.
I just Fitzy and Dalton in an old school, just shootout, slinging it all over the place.
Yeah.
I look at the over there, but I'm going to go with the Texans.
Okay.
I know it's plenty has been said about Jameis, the good, the bad. He beat me in my fantasy playoffs last week. Thanks a lot for the person that traded to him in like week 8. But that's a whole other story. But I think the Houston, they have enough to play for here. I think Deshaun absolutely goes crazy against this Buccaneers defense, and I think the idea of no Mike Evans catches up a little bit with Jameis. I still think the Texans will find ways to put pressure on him. So I like the Texans here. I mean, Fuller's healthy, and Watson's numbers with Fuller in the lineup are absolutely incredible. Better than freaking MVP numbers when he has him. So I like the Texans here on Saturday to kick things off.
I would agree. You might have talked me into firing away on that one, but it's always like a game of Russian roulette when you're betting that team in Houston.
I'm surprised the over is only 50. I looked at that.
Yeah, I would look long and hard at that as well.
A lot of pass interference calls in that game, Chris.
Yes. I could see that. Yeah. Absolutely. I love Denver at home, and it's more about not loving Detroit on the road at this point. Listen, Martha just came out and said, Quinn's going to be back. Patricia's going to be back. I don't think that's really a factor.
No.
The Broncos.
No, man.
Yeah. No. I mean.
5-0.
Yeah. I mean the Broncos are about a touchdown favorite at home, and Detroit is hapless at this point with all the injuries. I really like Locke. I think he's going to have a lot of fun out there against the second to worst passing defense in the league. And I just think they run away with this thing. I think the Lions are beat down. In Detroit, I know for a fact with Matty P, and he's my boy, he grinds these guys. And a team that's grinded down towards the end of the year and not playing for anything, it can get ugly. I think the Lions get smacked in Denver.
Do all the Lions players use the same travel agent, or do they use their own agents to dictate where they're going that first day after the season?
I have no idea. But if there's
you played on plenty of Rams.
I played on a lot of Rams teams.
before the season was over.
Well, you can't. Listen, if they're all using the same travel agent, that travel agent is not going to have time enough to book all the Caribbean vacations that are lined up here. But they are in Denver. Might not be bad to hit some of those shops in Denver and gear up for the off season.
On the way out.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, let's get to the college first. But by the way, how'd you do on your on your Bet America free play Gridiron Millions game last week? Did you try it? Did you bet all 24 picks last week and win $1 million or no?
I did, and I lost.
Okay. Well,
I predicted I would.
I'm still gonna.
It's free.
I do want to recap our pro picks before we get moving, though. I had the Dolphins. I have the who do I have? The Bills and the Broncos as well. So who'd you have?
Colts, Rams, Texans.
Colts, Rams, Texans. They sound like winners to me, all of them. We're going 6-0 in the NFL this week. So let's talk about this Gridiron Millions game. Just to remind people, you pick the spread and the over/under in 12 NFL games, so 24 picks total. You get them all right, you get $1 million. Sounds pretty simple. $1 million, it's going to go a long way in this economy, in any economy, in all economies. I'm no economist, but $1 million, that's going to do you well. So just pick 24 numbers and win. And if you played last week, you probably didn't win because I didn't hear about it. But let's try again. College picks. This is great news for Steve because it's bowl season. He's got me right where he wants me. I'm shitty at this on the college end. So, Steve, I'll let you lead off.
All right. I'm going to go SMU -3. I think they're better at every position on the field. I know the game is at FAU's home stadium, but Kiffin's gone. He went to Oxford. I don't know how much FAU is motivated to play a bowl game. And I know it is Boca Raton. And we all love South Florida. Yeah. But to play a bowl game, you don't even get to go out and explore, explore. No, that's what we like to do in our bowl game.
Yes, we do.
And they just, I don't know. I worry about it. And SMU's full of a team of transfers. They were 8-0 at one point. They ended up the season 2-2. But they have plenty of firepower. And I think the transfers are guys, when I talk about that, it's transfers from other schools, JUCOs, prep school guys. That bowl games are what we play for. I still love the idea of the bowl game. They're so much of the fun that I've ever had playing football was those weeks and those days leading up to bowl games where you're out with your guys, eating every meal and everybody's hanging out. And, those guys became, best friends and guys that were in my wedding. So, man, I'm all about the bowl games. I understand people don't get it, what to play for. You play for it because you like to play.
Not everybody's risking millions of dollars, and I certainly understand why guys skip when they do. But listen, for me, I had a lot of fun, and even at the Boise Bowl, I had fun. I mean, you're walking around with a little bit of walking around money, some a stipend there, a little $50 when you hit the ground. Don't spend it all in one place, as my granddad would say. I'll go with Georgia Southern. They've been running the ball right up people's you-know-what, about 260 yards a game. And Liberty, I saw them play Virginia. And by the way, we aren't world beaters when we play down to competition. We were down like 2-3 scores to ODU earlier in the year, and then we stomped Liberty the week before Tech. So, I don't think Liberty's a very physical team. They give up about 200 yards on the ground. This is not a good combination. It's power meets finesse. In December, I just like Georgia Southern here.
I couldn't imagine how depressed Liberty was when especially their defense, which isn't good anyway, and they're playing against an option team in a bowl game. That's not a good recipe.
It's going to be rough.
I like your pick, bud.
Yeah, thank you. That's great to hear. Okay, so what's your pick then? Your second pick?
If it would really be a problem for me back in my college days, I think if we did make a bowl in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I worry about myself.
I would too.
One that I'm not worried about that is playing a bowl game in Hawaii is BYU.
Yes.
Because they're mature.
Yes.
And they get it. And they know this is a business trip. So I'm going to go BYU -2 in the Hawaii Bowl against Hawaii.
That's brilliant. And Hawaii's at home, so they're partying, man. They're having a good time. BYU, no parties, just football. Just
Family
football,
baby.
Family of football. I like UW in the Las Vegas Bowl. Chris Peterson, simple as that. Guy's going to coach the bowl game. Seems like a guy who would be laser focused on his way out and try to leave his legacy the right way against his former team in Boise State. I like the job he's done there. He seems like an interesting guy, a guy you can kind of admire his under the radar vibes compared to a lot of college coaches. And I'd like to see him come out with a win. I think they do, and I think they win fairly easily.
All right. My last one, because you stole that one from me, but you're the host of the show.
That's good sign. That means I'm on a heater.
Yeah, I don't know. The college have been good. I counted. I had 3 3-0 weeks in college with you so far this season, and then 3 0-3 NFL weekend.
Yeah.
How is that? Like, that's me to a T.
Yeah, well, it's streaky.
Yeah. Let's see. Where am I going? My last one. I'll just go Charlotte.
Yeah.
In the Bahamas Bowl. I'm not sure how motivated they are, but I like their offense. I really like their coaching staff. Signing day, they're tweeting out pictures from the beach. They might not even be practicing.
Right.
So give me Charlotte. You know what? No, we're going to change it. Give me the over in the Charlotte game.
Yeah, I like that better because here's the deal. The Charlotte kids, at least they don't live in Buffalo. The Buffalo kids going to the Bahamas Bowl, it's a recipe for disaster. They go from getting drunk at bars that coal miners frequent. I don't know what they have up there in Buffalo. What's the industry? Is it coal miners? Upstate New York? You go from perpetual darkness at 4 p.m. to a swim-up pool bar. You're not winning the bowl game. And nobody's playing defense down there, so I'm totally with you. I like the over as well.
Maybe we'll team the over.
Yeah, I like that. Maybe we could do that as a team.
Yeah.
I like App State, man. It's as simple as I saw them play their conference championship game. I also saw UAB play their final game. And I just think they're two teams that are not – it's a big line. It's almost 17 points. But App State came out with their hair on fire, and I think that trend continues. I don't think much of UAB. They got just drugged by Florida Atlantic, and I admire. I think App State. This is the bowl game. If you were doing bowl game superlatives, me and Macon did it the other day. This is the how the hell did we get in this bowl game because App State deserves better. I think they're going to play pissed off. I think they win big.
Yeah, this is where we can't have the tie-ins in the lower bowl games. App State's the first-ranked team to ever play in a New Orleans Bowl. However, they did play in this bowl game last year. That worries me a little bit, but the new head coach is a guy on the staff, and I think he's going to use this as hey, let's build towards the 2020 season. Like, hey, this is our first step to next year, having a great year. Yeah, but going back to this, UCF is playing Marshall, giving 17. App State is playing UAB, giving 17. Give me App State and UCF playing each other. Yeah. That'd be an awesome game.
Tremendous game.
New Orleans for a bowl game has been a scary place because I love New Orleans.
Really, really scary. Top 3 scary bowl game locations. One of them, my favorite team, led by the Fighting Bronco Mendenhalls, are headed down to Miami. I don't worry about those kids. You talk about grown-ups, they're big-time grown-ups. Again, to recap, I like App State, I like UW, and I also like Georgia Southern running the Libs out of town. Liberty.
All right. Give me Liberty or give me that. SMU, BYU, and the over in the Charlotte game.
Okay, cool. And by the way, as a callback to earlier here, a little factoid for you. The last time the Bills and the Pats played this late in the second game of the season with double-digit wins, each of them, was what year do you think?
83 or 93.
64.
Oh, damn! That's before Steve Rogan and his neck brace.
Yeah, dude, that's a long time. The Bills are going to be ready to roll. So those were our college picks. Let me get to my long shot of the week. 0 for 1. It's time to bet 500. I'm going to get it this week. I'm going to hone in on this otherwise very meaningless game, Giants and Washington. I like Saquon over yardage. I like Washington to win, giving the points, actually favored in this game. And I like McLaurin over touchdowns. I think he has a big day. The Giants struggle on the back end, as you saw last week. Carson Wentz going 11 of 11 in the fourth quarter, with basically guys off the practice squad catching touchdowns. So, yeah, I think McLaurin has a big day. I think Saquon, who had, over 100 yards last week against the Eagles, getting back to his 2018 form a bit. It looks like high ankles take a while. And I like Washington because Bill Callahan doesn't know how to tank. This guy just wants to win. So you can find my long shots by heading to the super odds section of Bet America. You won't want to miss those. I'm 0 for 1, but I'm going to hit on one here soon, and it's going to be big. Those lines, all of our lines, powered by Bet America, sponsor of this wonderful program. And I'm so thankful to have Steve on here every week. Head over to betamerica.com, download the Bet America app, and let's get paid, because that's what me and Steve are going to do this weekend. Loads of football before Christmas, and we have some Christmas shopping. I don't want to speak for you to still do. That's the way it is.
All right.
So
done.
Let's make some money.
For real.
For real, let's do it. All right. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, man. I'll see you next week. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And Steve, thanks for being a great friend of the program.